Before we get started, if you have any, hello, there we go. Before we get started, if you have any questions, Andrew Robley is sitting over there. He's going to be redoing the historic guidelines. Hello, welcome. We have a quorum. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the City of Binghamton's Commission on Architecture, Urban Design, and Historic Preservation. My name is John Darrow, and I am the chairman of the board. I'd like to open the August 5th, 2025 meeting by doing a roll call starting on my left.
Daniel Need, Commissioner.
Glad you're here.
Mary Ellen Morrow, Commissioner.
We are honored by your presence.
Brian Haas, Commissioner.
Again, another honor, sir.
David Whalen, Commissioner.
Words. Always. Thank you.
Julia Burling, Planning Director.
Dylan Pelton, Historic Preservation. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so no minutes to review today. So they are. First item in the agenda is I would like to call for a motion to approve the minutes as presented from the July 10th, 2025
I'll
meeting.
second.
Well, I was calling for a motion. Now,
Oh, I'll
like
make a
to make-
motion to approve the
Thank you.
minutes.
would you like to second
I'll
it?
second.
All in favor? Okay, unanimous. It passes. There we go. First item on the agenda, 67 Seminary Avenue. Megan, you here? Please, sir. You don't look like Megan. Well, yeah. Would you be Mr. Megan? Well, you don't know anymore. I'm Mr. Dennett half the time because they don't know who I am because they do business with my wife. Are you Mr. H?
I am Mr. McManus. I am Megan's husband.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Certainly. Give us your pitch, sir.
Well, the back wall is coming down. We have the ceiling inside is coming down. The floor is,
Is this where you
As
kept
you-
your mother-in-law?
as you can see, the ceiling's coming down, that back wall's coming down. The floor itself is coming up to the ground. It's really, really old. It's an eyesore. We would just like to take it down and put up, for right now, just put up a shed or something, a shed to keep the snow blowers and stuff like that in there.
So I have to ask a shed question.
Okay.
Would that be, I'm purchasing the shed at Amish Sheds or Home Depot and just setting it there or building? a
That's
shed?
what we're looking at.
Okay.
Now,
Does it-
and I don't. Just a regular depot, enough to keep some.
Do they need permits to do that? I don't know.
It depends on the size. You need a permit if it's over a 12 by 12 structure.
We need a permit to get that.
If it's over a 12 by 12, like the footprint,
Okay.
you need plans, but if it's smaller than that, you don't.
Okay.
And I can attest to the fact that this thing doesn't have a foundation. It just sits on the ground.
It's a no-brainer to me. Questions, discussion, comments? I would make a motion to declare a Caud lead agency. Thank you. All in favor? Thank you. I would make a motion to declare it an unlisted action. Thank you. Second. Got it. Never mind. All in favor? Yes. I'm sorry. Then I would make a motion. Do we have to read first before? Yeah, we have to read, right? Yeah, okay. Mary Ellen, you're up. Welcome to bureaucracy, sir.
And I think I'm the only one that knows the words on.
Well, you
No.
are.
Will the proposed action create a material conflict with an adopted land use plan or zoning regulations? No. Will the proposed action result in a change in the use or intensity of use of land? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of the existing community? No.
Can you speak a little more directly into the microphone?
Is it there? Picking
It
up?
doesn't record unless you get up close.
Will the proposed action have an impact on the environmental characteristics that cause the establishment of a critical environmental area? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change in the existing level of traffic or affect existing infrastructure for mass transit, biking, or walkway? No. Will the proposed action cause an increase in the use of energy and it fails to incorporate reasonably available energy conservation or renewable energy opportunities? No. Will the proposed action impact public-private water supplies, public-private wastewater treatment utilities? No. Will the proposed action impair the character or quality of important historic, archaeological, architectural, or aesthetic resources? No. Will the proposed action result in an adverse change to natural resources? Example, wetlands, water bodies, groundwater, air quality, flora, and fauna? No. Will the proposed action result in an increase in the potential for erosion, flooding, or drainage problems? No. Will the proposed action create a hazard to environmental resources or human health? No. I therefore make a motion to declare a negative declaration.
I will second that motion. All in favor, you have to recuse yourself for a second, Jonathan. Everybody else, we're good?
Yep.
Okay, the chair wants to acknowledge Jonathan's attending. Please state your name for the record.
Jonathan Weisberg, Commissioner.
Glad you're here. Okay, you're in from
Thank
this
you.
point on. Technical difficulties? Flog the gentleman. When you don't have fun in our commission, sir, something's going
like
on.
it.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. N, you're up.
All right. The city of Binghamton has the following historic guidelines, provide the following recommendations that address do not have historic or architectural significance within the city of Binghamton. Do not demolish a building that contributes to the historic setting and character of a district. Do not demolish a building that contains historic building materials or evidence of historic craftsmanship that would be difficult or impossible to replicate or reproduce. Do not demolish a building that is a rare example of its type, style, period of construction, or historic associations. A building should not be demolished without definitive plans for the reuse of the property. The reuse of the property should never be a parking lot, which would generally have a negative impact on the overall character of a street. Do not demolish a building when reasonable efforts can be made to maintain its structural integrity. If a historic building is active and is earning a reasonable economic return, it is not appropriate to demolish the building, even if the return is not deemed to be the highest and best use. The proposed demolition does not appear to be in conflict with these guidelines. Therefore, I make a motion for a negative declaration of historic significance.
I will second that motion. Yes,
I'll second it.
you may second it. Ladies first. All in favor?
All right.
Knock it down, sir. Thank you very much.
you, Everett.
Glad you're here.
Appreciate it.
Item number 2 on our agenda, Shenango Street Bridge Mural Program. Advance and be recognized, sir. Please, record.
My name is Ben Strabler with the Economic Development Office here.
Glad you're here. What's your pitch?
So this is going to be a mural on the Shenango Street Viaduct. What's pictured up there on the top, that is the wall that's right by the old train station where Station 45 is. This is going to be done by a group, OSRS, often seen, rarely spoken. And that's a sample of some of their prior work. They've done a lot of work in the Midwest, as well as some places in the Northeast. They did a mural in Endicott, actually. And I think if you scroll up, maybe, yeah, that one right there in Louisville is going to be somewhat similar to what this one looks like. Instead of horses, it'll be trains. So trying to incorporate some things that are important to Binghamton. And that's basically the idea. They're working on a mock-up right now that'll be potentially tweaked a little bit. We'll work with them to try and get something that fits the community, fits the area, and they hope to be doing this in September or October.
So we don't have a mock-up of what we're supposed to vote on, right?
Not an exact one at this time, no. But it'll be in line with the character of those images up there.
Okay. We have a Marconi Tower adjacent to the railroad station.
Sorry, say again?
We have a Marconi Tower adjacent to the railroad station. I can see that you absolutely don't know what that is, right?
No, I do not. I apologize.
It's okay. It's kind of like a little miniature Eiffel Tower. And that was the location for the first wireless transmission for the railroads when it
Okay.
took place, when it was constructed. It is the only remaining Marconi tower left in America. Marconi is probably the great grandfather of wireless communication. And the Titanic was thinking the distress signal for Marconi wire. I think that maybe fine. Cool.
Okay.
After that town. And
Sure.
questions, comments?
For the record, since it's a bridge, we don't actually own it. It has a BIN number and it is owned by the DOT. That's a letter stating that it's fine to do the mural on the
Very
bridge.
cool. Do we have to approve the final plan for the mural to go up? I think we should. Okay. So I would, barring any other discussion, I would make a motion approval to do the mural on the Shenango Street Bridge wall, pending final approval of the mural itself.
Okay.
And the reason being for that, I'm going to ask for a second in a minute. Reason being, we had some murals that came before us some years ago where they wanted to put Dillinger up and known, there's certain things that we just, you're not putting a murderer up on a wall in our city. I'm sorry. I know you're a part of our city, but just, there's some things that we kind of have to adhere to and we
Sure.
want to make sure it comes out great. Second, yes, question.
Question, I'd like to see the Marconi Tower on that.
I think it'd be great.
That with the trains would be make it a complete.
I think it'd be great. Marconi is pretty cool.
Yeah.
His that's subjective as to whether he did or not. He was heir to the Jameson liquor franchise, and his other parent was a count in Italy. This is very cool. Interesting fellow. Guglielmo Marconi. Second? Thank you. Quick of hand. All in favor? Get us a really nice mural, sir. Thank you for being here.
Thank
Really
you.
Appreciate it. Mr. R, I'm going to call for you to take the hot seat. Thank you. And then when you get there, introduce yourself on record. So there's no misunderstanding of our illustrious visitor here today. Welcome.
Hello, everybody. My name is David Robley. I'm president of Robley Historic Preservation. I'm here to introduce myself.
His mic is not working.
It's a little green light.
Hello, testing.
Yeah,
There you go.
There we go. Sorry about that. Again, my name's Andrew Robley. I'm the president of Robley Historic Preservation based in Auburn, New York. I'm a historic preservation consultant that you all have hired to update and revise your design guidelines for the city of Binghamton. So I'm here just to meet you all in person and bring you up to speed to where we're at right now. And other than that, listen and get whatever feedback you guys have for me right now. So what we've done so far is my partner, Mariam, and I, she's not here, obviously. We've gone through the guidelines and made recommendations of revisions to the existing language. And most of you were on the Zoom meeting where we walked through those and talked through them. We got some preliminary feedback during that meeting as well. So now we're in the phase where we're trying to design public outreach. And so we're planning to have a table at the farmer's market on some selected Sundays. There is a public engagement session, TBD, that we still need to plan as part of that. There's an online survey that we've drafted and sent to the staff here to review. That eventually is planned for community members and the members here and anybody else that's on Juliet's list to solicit some feedback on how familiar people are with the guidelines, the current guidelines. If they are familiar, any feedback that they have, positive, negative, whatever, on the impact and efficacy of those guidelines. And that's going to help us formulate the new narrative draft. Other than that, we've been having just internally some discussions about the design and the layout, things like that, of the new guideline booklet. So we've collected a bunch of examples from across the country of other comparable cities' guidelines, just to steal ideas from and generate new ideas. So that's essentially where we're at today. I have the notes from our previous meeting, and if anybody has any questions, I can attempt to answer them, or
We-
just
sorry.
listen.
We just uploaded the notes to Basecamp today. So the notes and the minutes from that first meeting are now available on Basecamp. Also, Dylan had sent a link to the survey. I couldn't access it. I don't know if it's the city, security systems or whatever, but has anyone tried to access the survey link? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want me to
It
pull it up
should-
now? type of thing?
Yeah, I don't remember, but Dylan put up on
Yeah, I
Basecamp
wasn't looking.
an email. You can't.
There it is right there. So this is a draft. It's kind of sent to you all first, just to make sure that you're okay with sending these questions out to the general public. So
Do you want to go through some of this?
sure,
For
let's
the
just
record.
scroll through them. So the first section, awareness and experience, we want to understand how familiar people are with the guidelines. I think you might all be aware, I know as a former architectural review board member, I can say that more than once, property owners came to our board meetings completely unawares that they had to follow any design guidelines, right? So we want to get an understanding of how familiar people are with those, and there's just some questions here that gather that information.
Quick question, Andrew. One of the things that's popped through my mind, I've been on this board. I had brown hair when I started. Is it possible, in a pipe dream world, of getting the guidelines so they're accessible to the real estate market or the agents? So when you're buying a property in a historic district or a historic property, that you kind of have a working idea of what you're getting into. So often we're getting people coming in here and they're jumping up and down the screen. Well, the guy across the street doesn't have to do it. He's not in the district.
Mhm.
If you bought the house across the street, it wouldn't matter, but I don't have a question. Something for this.
Certainly,
Oh, they get madder than hornets, don't they?
well, that's one of the things that we talked about in the first meeting was
His mic is cutting in and out a lot. I can't hear anything.
to prop or current property owners, about whether or not they're in the district. To add the new guidelines.
Thanks.
That was one of the things I was going to bring up as well, John. I know
Not working.
in the Zoom meeting we had, I think the term you used was demolition by neglect or something.
Yeah.
To that effect. And I think as, you know, we all agree that the commission strategy going forward is to, whenever we can save, you know, historically significant properties, but if it's, you know, only going to be so that folks or that, you know, the owner of that property comes back here 5 or 10 years later, after it's fallen into further disrepair, to demolition anyway, you know, we're not really, I don't think gaining much, and in fact, probably, you know, creating a detriment to the community in terms of blight,
Mhm.
in terms of, like the issue we saw at 216 recently. Now, you know, homeless person broke in, lit a mattress on fire. You know, we
That's the
saw
speculation.
probably an accurate speculation. You know, we saw what happened to, J.R. Gardette this past winter, who tragically lost his life fighting a fire in a similar situation. So I think in conjunction with us, you know, working to maintain these properties, there has to be some kind of a comprehensive plan in place behind that, to have a plan of action for the
Mhm.
properties. And, you know, I think to John's point, to notify folks as they're changing hands, buying and selling, whether it's, you know, in terms of a deed restriction of some sort or similar language, so that they're well aware of what they can and can't do before the property is purchased or sold.
Mhm.
For whatever that's worth. I know it's probably a heavy lift, but you know, I
Same
think
thing with-
addressing it prior than opposed to after the fact would go a long way to help mitigate this situation. Hope.
Yeah, same thing with the businesses, local businesses with just like signage. You know, a lot of people are just unaware of that.
Mm.
That's like something that constantly pops up for us.
Yes, very much
With,
so.
with site plan review for planning commission, once they've received the determination letter, so I'm thinking similar to the determination of significance, they have 6 months to begin the project. Within 6 months, they have to show substantial progress, which can include blueprints and construction and all that, but then they have to reapply for site plan approval if they go beyond that. So we could consider adding something into this within 1 year of a determination of significance, you have to have a development plan or sell the property. If you're,
6 months is a very good.
Yeah.
Timeframe.
would you like us to look at drafting something like that for consideration? Okay. 'Cause that
And
would do
other
exactly that.
communities have specific language to deal with demolition by neglect. So, for example, Auburn, it's written into their preservation ordinance. A list of actions to deal with that. So that's absolutely a very important point to make. For safety, for the upkeep of your historic resources. One of the other things that we discussed was the recommendation to add language for deconstruction
Mhm.
rather than demolition. So, so the opportunity will be there as a last resort to salvage the historic materials so they don't completely go to waste or just get pushed into the ground. A lot of
Reasonably proactive to use
Good.
language when they're invited in.
Yeah.
Our big purpose is getting them to invite them to come.
And some of this also speaks to internal coordination, which we touched on a little bit at our meeting, but I know that, again, City of Auburn deals with this too. For you mentioned signage, and that's what made me think of it, is if you all don't know something is being proposed and possibly approved by another board of the city, you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know. So part of our mission is to try and write in some sort of plan or recommendation for internal coordination so that doesn't happen. Because I think a lot of problems arise from that too, particularly with signage. So a property owner will come to whatever it is, the ZBA, get an approval and for whatever reason, it doesn't make it to you when it should, and that can become an issue.
We have a process, but I would like to see that carried through into the design guidelines. When an application comes into planning or zoning or for a sign permit, fence permit, before they get approval, it goes through Caud if it's required. So they won't get a development or construction permit or sign permit or fence permit until all the committees have given a determination. So there is a process between us and Code for that. And we do have internal coordination, but I would like to see that written out and put into this. I think that'd be great. So, because we've had it happen.
Which farmer's market were you talking about? The one on the west side? You were gonna try to go to? Is that the one? A lot of people over there have no idea they're even in the Abel Bennett tract.
I think that's why you recommended it, right?
Yeah. So I was going to ask if that was something you wanted to attend or if you want Dylan.
I think I'd like to be there at least
Okay.
for some of them, yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we can provide a table and I think we have like a City of Binghamton tablecloth, you know. But as far as the survey goes, if you had a flyer with like a QR code we could hand out, that'd be great.
Good idea.
I also arrange one time, you're gonna have a bunch of property owners that would be in attendance. I don't know if I'm in or out here. Am I audible?
Crackling a little bit.
You know what? Oh, I don't even see them. Are we gonna get some verbiage for non-compliance? Like, if you fail to comply in the 6 months, code enforcement or corporation counsel or the fire marshal's office will have A, B, and C to follow up for an inspection or a re-inspection. You know, we haven't had teeth here since I've been on the commission, and code is.
That's a good point too, and that would that have to be passed legislatively, you know, to have teeth and to be
Yeah,
able
we
to
don't.
do,
We approached city council a couple times and I've never. And
Well,
there's multiple.
yeah,
Yeah,
we can have that added in.
I
because
would
right
like
now,
to see some verbiage just so, you know,
If it's a historic structure, if it's in a historic district, and it requires COD review.
Yeah.
We can, in the determination letter, we can add time restrictions. We can work on that.
yeah, I
We'll-
think it'd be
we'll add
very
it.
important. It would
Yeah, we'll add it to
reinforce
the,
us a little bit more, and I don't mind coming in here and earning my $40 a month. Do we get that much? But
wow.
yeah, right.
It's more
It's a
than that.
title in lieu of cash, I can assure you.
and that would only be for projects that are coming to you for planning or zoning review, is it?
Yeah, there should
If it's
definitely be a
anything-
fine.
if it's something that's
There
come
you
to
go.
COD alone, we can have that
Punitive
in there, but
damage
if
or
it's
something.
also gone through planning and zoning, we can add it. Sorry, so that would involve the determination of significance regarding demolition is in addition to the condition of appropriateness for when this commission votes and says, yes, you can paint it that color, no, you can't. We'll have it in a similar fashion to the planning approvals, a certain amount of time that you have to take action.
I think it'd be very appropriate.
I think that'd be great, yeah.
I think it'd be very appropriate, man in the booth.
And
I was
I'd
just
like to
thinking from a logistical perspective, I guess, you know, in terms of real estate transfer as well. So folks buying or selling properties, is there a way to? No, even, you know, like when I bought my building at 128 Washington Street, I think there was a deed restriction in there related to the storefront. As it related to a grant from the city of Binghamton decades ago, but, you know, is there similar language that could be included, you know, with certain restrictions that convey with the property based on its historic significance?
Well, that's typically property to property, and yeah, so if a property received a state grant, in the past, it'll have a covenant. Previous owners can put easements onto deeds to protect historic features. The ordinance typically doesn't deal with that. The ordinance is there to provide guidelines and penalties. So those penalties should be have to be in your ordinance.
Mhm.
And we can reference them in the design guidelines, but if you want to strengthen that protection, I'll call it, that really should be in the legislation.
I was
I
going to
think that's one we
suggest-
see like fairly often. Someone will buy a property like the gentleman at 216 Court or wherever, and then show up here a couple of months later. Hey, I bought this thing. I'm going to tear it down. I need more parking for my business. And then they find out via this commission or whatever. And sorry, you can't do that because of, you know,
'Cause you
X,
can't-
Y, and Z is their way to preempt, I guess, that.
Yeah.
Well, people struggle with this everywhere, and the realtors in your area are the ones that need to be educated, because they're the ones. It should be, doesn't mean it is. Doesn't mean it's clear, and it doesn't mean that your realtor knows anything about preservation. You know, that we could talk about the process for getting a realtor's license, but that's kind of a separate topic, but it all converges at this point. So, you know, I think maybe reaching out to the realtors for our public information meeting might be important, but getting them involved to educate them it's an undertaking. But this is, you know, you're not going to get that message to your prospective buyers except through those realtors.
I'm just full of questions. Do you want to go first? Go
I
ahead,
was
John.
just going to make a suggestion of a monetary fine, because what's to stop someone? You say, no, you can't tear that down.
With no penalty.
Your
yeah.
garage, yeah. Tear it down anyway. What
They
are they
won't,
gonna do once it's gone?
they won't get permits from code to do that. If they get the determination letter from this committee saying this has been found to be significant, you can't demolish it, they goes to code, building code and construction, and they're not issued any type of permits for demolition. So
That hasn't stopped some people.
Yeah,
I know.
that's what I was gonna
That's
say.
true,
People will
yeah.
just hire someone in cash to knock something down, like.
Would Caud be the one
But-
taking him to court for failure to comply, or?
So if they're to begin with.
Yeah.
Maybe that helps, maybe it doesn't, just a suggestion.
I think it's a good idea.
You should have penalties in your ordinance. I'm not an expert on your ordinance at the moment, but
By
there
the next meeting, you will be.
there should be penalties written into it. Now, whether or not they're frightening to anybody,
Mhm.
it depends, you know.
Cheaper
your
to pay the
point,
fine
there-
than to keep the building. Yeah.
Yeah. So something to consider. The state came out with an updated historic preservation ordinance in 2014. And so I know that I was part of the process to update Auburn's using that template. I don't know if you guys, I think I already asked this question, but I forgot. Did you guys go through that?
I'm trying to remember when we did these guidelines.
So there was a state issued updated template for historic preservation ordinances for municipalities in 2014. And I'm just wondering if you guys updated yours at that time.
I'll have to double check.
Okay.
I wasn't here. I started in 2015.
Yeah.
And Dylan wasn't here either, but I can double check that. There's a very good chance that we did. There was Peter Larange was the,
We did our book in 11. and
right. Do you remember?
I'm not cognizant of it. They might have
Peter
handed
was-
out a supplemental sheet, but I
I'll
don't
double check.
Okay.
have any memory of it. Yeah, I just
You
don't.
don't remember? Okay.
Can I ask another question while it's still fresh before?
I'll allow it.
Thank you. So several years ago, and I think it was pre-COVID, there were some alluded that we might get some purveyance over interior public space.
Mhm.
And I'll do an example, the Grand Marble Entry Hall at Security Mutual Life. the railroad station, the Kilmer building. We don't have anything in place for that yet, and I think a lot of them are in some jeopardy. Just wonder if that would be part of the update.
So right now, as far as I know, New York City is the only municipality in our state
Mhm.
that covers interiors. The law does provide for you to add that
Mhm.
in your ordinance.
Now that would go through city council to make
Yes,
that.
so,
okay.
so just to make sure we all understand what we're talking about. Your ordinance, that's the law, the actual regulation that you pass or the city council passes that regulates the treatment of historic properties. The guidelines are there for you to follow, and they kind of are separate from, but are derived from that ordinance
Mhm.
and explain them. So it, I think it's a good idea, but I'm a preservationist. Getting that interior designation through your city council, that's the way you'd have to do it. And I don't
Mhm.
know how much of a challenge that may or may not be.
Nothing
here.
ventured, nothing gained.
That's very true. So I think for a city-owned building, it would probably be easier. Once you venture into private property, you might find yourself with
Mhm.
some opposition, but I really
Now,
don't.
let me ask a question on private property while we're there. If it's a private residence that is on the National Register or state and local landmark status, and a beautiful woodwork hallway and, you know, built-in mirrors and such for the hall. I'm not getting into private parts of the home, living room, bedrooms. Would that be a stretch of the interpretation because it is a listed property? Or
So it's a
is that line of private property and what, once it's a listed property?
pretty hard line. So if
Yeah.
you have a private property, every part of the property is private.
Okay.
Right? So I think it would,
If, I'm nitpicking now, Andrew, bear with me.
okay.
They gave me the seat for a reason, you know, I earned the
Sure.
big bucks for sitting here. If it's listed property and they've gone for a commercial variance for a boutique hotel, B&B, restaurant, coffee shop, donut shop, would that change its status because it's now semi-public and not entirely? So they're living upstairs, yet the first floor is functioning as a business or something.
I mean, it serves the public, but that doesn't make it a public
Okay.
property.
Okay, thank you.
It's still private property.
Okay, I'm trying to,
No, I understand.
I'm trying to get my railroad on track here,
Yeah.
you know?
But you know, that New York City ordinance, and we can look into that.
What I'm trying to do is save as much of what's left of our
Yes.
city as we can. That's what I'm,
They allow for, that ordinance allows for the designation of historic interiors, so whether it's public or private. So we're going to look at that as well.
I'm going to follow up again on this. I'm sorry. Mind is a terrible thing to waste. So the Bundy Museum, which is a chartered New York State museum, and it's also a 501c3 nonprofit.
Yeah.
It is a privately held museum. Okay. Is there a line there as to what can be?
It's still
Preserved.
private property, but chartered education.
It took a year or so to get that done.
They probably have any number of grants
Yep.
active and pending, which places restrictions on them. So the way, I'm sure you all know this, but if you're listed on the National Register, if you're using your own money, you can do whatever you want to the property. No one can stop you. If you are taking historic tax credits or grant money from the state or federal government, then they have a say over what you do to the historic fabric of the building. So my guess is that a historic building like that, that's a nonprofit, most likely has something going on that's
A
covering
lot
all
of
that.
grants I'm aware of, yeah.
The local designation, you know, that's a stronger protection, but typically only for the exterior.
Thank you very much. Till my next question.
Okay. Should we continue with the going through the question? What's the next section here? Let's go to section 2. Community values. So, this is where we came up with some questions to try and understand, well, one question to try and understand, try and gauge the public's perception and temperature regarding historic areas. So we want to understand how much they value those things. Not because we necessarily want to react to that, but so we understand it and we can address it with education accordingly. And that kind of leads into the next section where we talk about design preferences and priorities. We want to know what people value the most out of things like accessibility, additions, landscape features, stuff like that. Keep going. We talk a little bit about inclusivity and representation, which I think is still important, at least in New York State. And we want to make sure that as we move to protect our historic resources, we're telling the stories of the whole community. So we want to make sure that people feel like they're being heard. If they think there's something missing, they have the opportunity to tell us about that. And then we move on to questions about how feel they've been communicated with by the city or the Architectural Review Board. And all of this is going to help inform how we draft our updated guidelines and how that's delivered to the community.
And going through some of these questions, the Harriet Tubman Foundation might be a good place to reach out to because she's been doing a lot of work downtown. You'll see the signs all over the place.
Okay. And there's a section first, just some open feedback.
Go up to the very beginning. All right. Do you have a question regarding familiarity with Binghamton's historic districts in there? Might be something we could ask like at the public, you know, where we're handing out flyers and stuff, just in general. Ask them.
Yeah, that's not in there. No, okay, that's a glaring omission. Yeah. We will put that in there. This is why we're here. Okay.
We can bring like copies of the current district maps to the tabling session.
Yeah,
people-
do you want to produce those
Yeah.
maps or, okay,
We can do that, yeah.
okay,
I mean, we'll just make copies. It won't be fancy, but you know.
okay.
Yeah. I think that'd be good to hand out because I'm not convinced that people know we have historic districts beyond the Able Bennett tract. You know. They seem surprised. You know. The meeting. All right. Okay, so you did have that. Yeah, okay. So I did check, we did have an amendment to our chapter 18 March 5th, 2014. I don't know if that reflected the adopting the new template for that, but I'll double check.
Okay.
So we've had 1, 2,
Well,
3, 4,
my
5.
my thinking is by bringing that up is this, if you didn't go through the update at that time, that could be a very strong argument to go through with it now and include a lot of the things that we've been talking about. Like the demolition by neglect stuff, some of the other things we talked about.
Sorry.
No more questions?
Well, undoubtedly I will, but regrouping.
Okay, well, I'll hand out my card here so everybody can reach out to me whenever they want, so.
Want to talk about scheduling the in-person session, engagement
Yes.
session? Because I'd love the members to also be able to attend. So looking at people's calendars, timeframes. What did you have in mind? Like if this Sunday is the farmer's market.
Mhm.
So if you'd like to start this Sunday or the following for your schedule, what were you looking at? I know originally you said August 3rd. Sorry.
So we can do farmer's market this Sunday.
Okay.
And that runs from 11 to 2.
And see who we have to notify, let know that we're going to participate. Because I'm sure there's, other than economic development, there's a group that runs the farmers markets.
It's one in Rec
Yeah.
Park.
Cornell Cooperative.
Recreation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be at Rec Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, does Cornell Cooperative oversee the farmers markets? I'll find-
Inside the building, they still do.
Yeah. Okay. But I'll get that. I'll get.
I did come up with another question.
Okay.
And I haven't read this from cover to cover in quite a while. Is there a section in here, or can we include one that would deal with the pertinence? Fences, like if you have a historic fence, like the Phelps Mansion,
Yeah.
fountains, things that maybe not part of the structure of the building, but are really part of the integral part of the property that we want to keep in place.
Yeah, so in chapter 9, we made some notes. That's sightlines for site features. And that's where we'll be addressing all those
Okay.
things.
I think in my feeble little mind, if it's a national registered property, that appurtenance cannot be removed or altered. I don't know that to be the case. I just think I read it somewhere eons ago.
Well, again, it depends on who's paying for it.
Okay. Thank you.
For a local property though, that's where you guys have more power.
Okay.
What would you like me to prepare for the farmer's market? Just bring myself or?
If you could bring a flyer of the survey.
Got
of that
that, yeah.
code, okay. Information on historic tax credits, if you have a handout for that. We might have a handout for that.
I
Yeah,
probably
they
would,
have them.
yeah, I probably would bring the one that's on SHPO's website. It's
Yeah.
the best one, so.
Okay. And it's always good to have like a comments box.
Yep.
Suggestions. And we'll make the maps. We'll bring copies
Okay.
of the map unless you want to. Our printer's pretty bad.
I could
Okay.
loan you a table and a tablecloth. I can't be there because I'm working this weekend, but
Well,
I
we
said I
could
could-
do,
loan you a table and a tablecloth if you need it. I can't be there because I'm working, but
We have them.
okay.
We have
just
some, but thank you.
a little tent would be nice.
we can do a couple. We can do maybe every other Sunday for a couple.
Okay.
You want to do that? So
Yeah.
that would be if we do the 10th,
It goes till
Then
through
the-
October, right?
the 24th, yeah, the 24th, whoops. The 7th. And the 21st to start with. And then we wanted to do 2 other events, right?
Mhm.
A public information session on this and one on historic tax credits, right? So I'm pretty free the next few weeks. We can pull together something pretty quickly if if you guys want to incorporate this meeting into that or do it separately. What works best for you, do you think?
If we could get the public to show up, it's a public
Yeah.
meeting.
Well,
You're
yeah,
watching our audience. What do we had? 2 people in the past 2 years?
okay.
Oh, yeah. Can't hear you, Julia.
We've held them before in a historic structure, and we had much better attendance.
Yeah.
When we've had meetings in the library public room, we've had very little attendance. I think we should work on trying to find a place where we could have a public meeting to discuss updating guidelines and maybe use that same location for
The tax credit.
tax credits. Yeah.
Okay. Now, back when we did the Main Street district, we met at I'm forgetting the name of it, the Italianate Villa on Chestnut Street. It might be a good place for it. I forgot what it
Walnut
was
Street.
called. Walnut Street, sorry.
Noma used to have their offices there.
Oh, yeah, the church has.
Yeah.
lots of
We think that
unfortunate
might be,
stuff.
is that the one in private residence? Possibly.
I didn't hear it.
It might be in residential use right now, if it's the one
Yeah,
I'm
they're-
thinking of.
they're Keeping unfortunate people there that don't have a place to go.
You're talking about the Hemingway House, right?
Hemingway House,
Yeah.
that's it, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's being used for residential use.
Well, let's figure out
Kilmer
dates and
Building,
then we can figure out locations.
I mean, yeah, we can use the Kilmer Building, we can use the Phelps Museum, you can book the library if you want to. That actually has like a screen and a setup with it. I've been there
Okay.
before.
Sunday would have that accommodation. Yeah, it's got parking, it's got bathrooms.
You mean the
The Broome County Library.
Carnegie Library is now the Culinary Institute.
Yes.
And Mr. Carnegie is rolling over in his grave, buddy.
Okay, well, let's look at August 21st. And that'll be the design guidelines public meeting. And do you think we should do the following week for the tax credit or put more space in between those 2 meetings? Might be good to give them a teaser, like show up next week and we're going to get into those tax credits.
It's
Part
probably going to
two.
be, I mean, honestly, it's probably going to be the same audience. So
Yeah,
I teach on Thursdays, so evenings, so I won't be able to attend,
oh,
but.
well, we could, that was arbitrary. We could
Okay.
pick a different day. Could do the Wednesday, 20th and
I
the
teach
27th.
Wednesday and Thursdays, I teach. Sorry.
Dare I say Friday?
Go for it.
Okay. Unless you think people are going to be too busy partying.
Yeah, I think Friday's good.
Okay.
What do you guys think?
I'm gone the month of August. Antiques Week, and my niece is getting married. Got a good drive to Florida right after.
Which day is that?
I'm leaving Friday and I'm back the 28th for Porch Fest.
Okay.
Unless we're fortunate enough that a hurricane comes through and they have to postpone the wedding. I really don't want to be in Tallahassee in August, right? It's warm in February.
We could switch it to, how about we do this? The 29th and then September 5th.
So the 29th is Porch Fest of August.
Oh, man, what's up with, okay.
No, I thought it was on Sunday. I thought it was the 29th. It's the last weekend of the month. Please forgive me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's Sunday. Oh, you're right. It is the 31st. I apologize. I'm probably driving in the
Cutting it
29th.
close.
Yeah, and I'd be walking sideways anyway.
Gotcha.
You don't need me there. I'll just ask you a bunch of questions.
Well,
So now we're jumping into my schedule. The 5th is a Friday. I only work weekends, so I'm setting up on the 5th or I'm driving where I'm going. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays for me is like ideal.
okay, let's look at Tuesdays then.
It's Tuesday. I was married on a Tuesday.
So we're going out even further at this point. Tuesday, the 2nd and the 9th.
That would work for me.
Tuesday, September 2nd for the design guidelines meeting and Tuesday, September 9th for the tax credit.
Yeah. Seems up.
Well, we're thinking early evening probably for this, right? 5, 6.
Yeah.
Maybe 6, so people have time to come back from work. Okay.
I'll
that?
approach Bundy and see what I can get done. If
Oh.
not, I'll call Phelps or Kilmer.
We had a recent public meeting at the church on the east side or the north side. Do you remember where that was held? Centenary Church, I think it's called. It was beautiful. So I'm wondering, and if they would let us hold another meeting there.
Sure.
There's a couple places.
Where was that?
I believe it's called Centenary Church.
Where was it located?
Shenango Street. Near the fire station.
The one they turned into housing? The really
Yeah.
pretty one?
No, it's
Oh.
not housing. Let me look it up.
Left a lasting impression, didn't it?
Location TBD at this point.
I think it's before the Calvary Baptist Church. But I can't remember exactly what it's called.
It's at 438 Shenango Street, Centenary United Methodist Church.
I can't picture it in my head.
Okay.
Yeah.
If the Bundy's not available or the Kilmer.
I'll talk to Bundy this afternoon.
Okay. Got it.
Any other questions?
Oh,
Comments?
careful what you wish for. Not until you leave. I'll come up with a dozen.
Sure,
more,
of course.
I'll write notes down.
Well, my cell number's on there. Just call me.
Auburn's a beautiful city. It's
Thank you.
wonderful. Yeah,
I'll take credit for that.
you should. It's well earned.
It's a great place. Yep.
Yeah.
But so is Binghamton.
Binghamton's cool. You guys got the original Bundy time recorder that was exhibited at the
Yes.
1893 World's Fair. Love to get it brought down to the
right.
museum.
Yep.
They got it locked in a closet. You almost have to schedule and give a passport to even view the thing.
Mhm.
But I
Well,
guess
that's where he went to school. That's where he's
Yeah.
from, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I can ask you guys to read through the notes on the existing design guidelines that we just uploaded today. And it's broken down by Andrew by chapter. So if there's anything within those chapters, I don't mean to give you homework, but I'd love to get your input on what you think should be added, and don't worry about if it can be added or if it's appropriate. If it's something you're interested in, put it in and then we can figure the rest out. I'm going to do the same thing. I have not spent a lot of time with this right now, but grant season's done. They're all in. So now I'm going to turn towards this, but I really want you guys, and I'm going to get there's 5 amendments to our chapter 18, which covers not so much the design guidelines, but the commission and our function here. So I'll get you all of the amendments, associated with the commission. And we had changes to the signs. If you recall, we now were approving stencil cut backlit lettering from 45 Lewis Street.
Mhm.
So I believe that has been added officially into something, but I got to find that document. So we'll do all that type of research and get it out to everybody to review, including Andrew. Okay. And there's sections in chapter 410 regarding signs and fences that I want pulled into this. So if it is already referenced in chapter 410, I don't believe it's referenced in the design guidelines. So we'll be doing that. All right. So do you need all of those, like our zoning amendments, everything, all of those are on our city
I
website?
think I already
You got
pulled it off
Okay.
and saved it. I haven't gone through it with a fine tooth comb or anything, so.
It's fascinating. The farmer's market schedule is the August, what was it?
10th, 24th, September 7th and 21st.
Okay. September 7th and the 21st. Okay, so every 2 weeks. All right. Okay, and then September 2nd and 9th for the public meetings and the historic tax credits.
Correct.
Okay, we got a good schedule.
Great.
Can I ask an unrelated question?
Sure.
So the next time I have my wife up in Auburn, what restaurant do I want to go to?
Oh, boy, let's see. Well, you probably want to go to Prison City Brewery.
No. Think nice dining, not beer and French restaurant.
French restaurant
Yeah, seafood, something.
in Auburn. I
Used
would
to have
go.
the Krebs in Skinny Atlas,
Well, yeah, of
there,
course.
The
There's
Burj in Ithaca.
those guys are snobs. No, just kidding. Well, there's Moro's Table. I don't know if you're
Moro's.
familiar with that. They're pretty good. They're right downtown.
Okay.
Other than that, we go to Osteria, which is
Any
right next
dining at a
door.
historic property?
It's in a historic property. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of great restaurants in Auburn.
Okay, cool. You may get a phone call. Hey, I'm
Sure,
in
give me
town.
a,
Where do
give
I
me a
take
call
it?
if you're in town.
Okay. Thank you, sir, for being here. The board wishes to acknowledge and extend our great appreciation for your presence in reviewing this today.
Oh, thank you. No, it's my pleasure.
Is there any further business for us at this time? Then I would make a motion to adjourn. Oh,
This is going to be my last month here. I took a
you
job.
can
for
just
Union.
say,
Yes.
oh.
So next Tuesday, in order to clear the schedule for September, because you have to apply by tomorrow, basically. So the 12th, I want to hold a special Caud meeting to get those out of the way for the transition for somebody else to come in. So they have like 6 weeks to get used to it. So if you can be here next Tuesday, I would appreciate it.
Any light on the horizon, who it might be, or?
I do not know. I reached out to a couple of my contacts that I used to have in public archaeology and a couple of friends of mine in preservation, but we'll see what happens.
We're gonna contact the Cornell department,
Sure.
Tomlin. I think Mike Tomlin is his name, for recommendations, and have some targeted APA, the Upstate New York APA. I don't think we're going to send it to Indeed.
Mhm.
We've done that in the past and it was kind of brutal. So,
Get us a copy of,
Yeah.
we might know somebody.
Okay.
I'm going to take a leap of faith and speak on behalf of the entire commission and extend our heartfelt appreciation for your leadership and your great professionalism, Dylan, and I wish you well. We all wish you well in your further endeavors.
It's been a pleasure to serve here. You guys are great.
Thank you very much. Then,
So next Tuesday at 12:15.
Yeah, and we'll
Okay.
try to hear those cases. So this September, you won't have to be here.
I will not be in attendance. I'm gone. Other than work, it happens to be my 48th anniversary with my wife. Then I'm going to formally adjourn the meeting of Caud.
Do you
Our
have a
commission is
second?
The most fun you attend. Let me
Second.
know if we're doing something wrong, okay?